Hey, how you doing? This is your boy Golden Kingdom, and today we're going to talk about the 5 positives and the 5 negatives about the latest news of Russell Westbrook being traded from the Thunders to the Rockets for Chris Paul, or if I'm not mistaken, 2024 first round draft pick and our 2026 first round draft pick. Which, as a Rockets fan, I don't think we gonna be sorry during those years. You know, we probably won't be as good as we are now, but I still don't think we're gonna be a lottery. I don't think that's gonna be a lottery pick whatsoever. So today we are gonna discuss the 5 positives and the 5 negatives about Russell Westbrook coming to the Houston Rockets. First things first, I'm gonna start off with the 5 negative. Just because I'm a positive person, I like to end on a positive note type of person. So I'm gonna start off with the 5 negatives. 1, Russell Westbrook. He's a ball dominant player. Now, to be fair, when we did trade for Chris Paul, they said the same thing, and we were always contenders up there. We was always right there, almost getting just an injury or you know, fatigue. I don't know why, but we never could get over the hump against the Warriors. Now that the West is wide open, obviously the Lakers are getting. The Lakers, they got better. The Clippers, obviously with Kawhi and PG, they got a whole lot better. I'm expecting them to be top tier. Denver. The Jazz, who in my mind have the most underrated starting lineup, and so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure I missed a couple other teams. And you can never knock off the Warriors, just because KD, Clay is gonna be gone for most of the season, and KD is not there anymore. I mean, it's still the Warriors. I mean, Steph Curry was still the first ever unanimous MVP. I'm pretty sure he's going to put up MVP numbers this year. Saying that, 1, Russell Westbrook, he's ball dominant. I don't know how that's going to work, especially with how Mike D'Antoni has James Harden dribbling so much. 2, Russell Westbrook tends to, for the most part, take off defensive plays, similar to James Harden. And hopefully with him playing, they'll both have enough energy to save, but until I see it, I won't be able to. I won't be able to. Until I see it, I'm still going to think that they just going to give up on some defensive plays. So they got to work on it, both of them. 3, Russell Westbrook is not a good 3-point shooter. Actually, this was going to be my number 1, but knowing that the Rockets are full of shooters, I don't think they're going to need him that much shooting, but he is going to have to shoot better than 29% that he shot last season. So he definitely got to improve, especially on the Rockets. You can't be the starting point guard on the Rockets and not be able to shoot threes. 4, he has some baggage in terms of a history of, maybe it's unwarranted, but he has a history of, like, not being able to play good with other all-star teammates. In all fairness, I don't think it's him. I think it's OKC, the system, whatever. It was always driven around him, or it was driven around him, but he was always an alpha dog, which that could be a positive and a negative. And 5, he hero ball. Obviously, this is gonna be James Harden's team, and he can't be able to play hero ball, but James Harden be playing hero ball for time too. So maybe this him being here in Houston will balance that off a little bit. Now the 5 positive. Now a lot of Rockets fans might not agree with this, but I will start off with one. Russell Westbrook is better than Chris Paul. I'm sorry. I don't know where his history-wise could rank both of them, but right now as we speak, Russell Westbrook is better than Chris Paul. It's not even close. That's one positive. Two, what we had to give up to get Russell Westbrook was honestly a good cent, because we didn't have to touch any of our core players outside of Chris Paul, who we actually did want to get rid of his contract. So, I mean, people are going to say, oh, no, we should probably still trade Clint Capela. I agree, we should still trade Clint Capela. But look at the center position right now. There's not really that many centers out there. Hopefully we get, if there's a team that's willing to trade for like Eric Gordon and Clint Capela, give us a center, a younger center, whatever, a center who has more potential, especially on the defensive end, or at least could shoot better free throws, because Clint Capela really got to work on his free throw. But besides that, our court, for the most part, the same court that challenged the Warriors for the last couple of years, the last couple of years, are still gonna be attacked. So we only gave up Chris Paul and 2 draft picks that are most likely gonna be late, in the late future. So honestly, give Russell Westbrook for Chris Paul and no other player, it was an actual win for us. What was that, 2? I think that was 2. Probably 3. Okay. 4. The Rockets needed a dog player. It's similar to what I hate to compare it to, because I know in real life they hate each other. But a little bit, I'm not comparing him in terms of play style or in terms of defense, obviously, but in terms of that mentality. The Rockets need that dog of player, especially like when, like, it seems like when James Harden's not feeling it, the team around him falls off a little bit. And Chris Paul, his second season, I think, first season when the Rockets were 1 game away from beating the Warriors, he seemed to be it, but I don't know. I don't know if he was just trying to like take a step back, and this is James Harden's team. It's understandable, but it was like when James Harden couldn't feel it, like the team could still win, but that was like, it was hard. It was really hard. I think Russell Westbrook, dog mentality in terms of, I forget it, like what I said earlier, hero ball is something you should work on, but at the same time, it could be useful during circumstances, especially when the Rockets tend to go through their late, they tend to run out of gas from time to time, especially against teams like the Warriors, you know, the Clippers, especially. Like, we struggled with the Clippers this year, so the Rockets should definitely work on that. So it's that 4 and 5, the star power. I'm sorry, but you can't duplicate having 2 recent MVPs on the same team. You can say, well, they both ball dominant. That's the same thing I said about Chris Paul. You could say Russell Westbrook can't shoot 3-pointers, which that was one of my negatives. But at the same time, the Rockets have more shooters than the Thunders did. So I don't think, and it's not like Russell could make threes every now and then. He had a bad shooting from the 3-point line, especially last year. But it's not like he's a Ben Simmons in terms of he's not gonna make any 3-pointers or just leave him wide open type of thing. So for the most part, I think this was a win. I'm hearing that it was a win for the Thunders. I could see that it was a win for both, honestly. As a Rockets, maybe I'm a little biased, but I see a little bit more win for the Rockets, because the Rockets, obviously, it's understandable, especially us Rockets. We was that close from beating the Warriors, and they challenged them every year, and we just could never get over the hump. And now the Warriors are semi out of the way, and the West being wide open. I mean, of course, everybody make a move. We had to make a move. And I dare I say, Russell Westbrook, especially during this particular time, was the absolute best player available. So, I don't fault. Everybody can say, well, the Rockets, they lost the trade because, Russell Westbrook can't shoot 3-pointers. Russell Westbrook could rebound. Russell Westbrook could assist. Both of these players won assist titles. I mean, damn. So, for me, maybe you don't agree, but for me, I think the Rockets and the Thunder maybe in the future, but as of right now, going forward this year, I think the Rockets won this trade. If the Rockets failed to win the championship or even make it to the finals or whatever, I think it'll be a good-ish thing. It sounds weird for me to say. Obviously I want the Rockets to win, but if the Rockets don't win, it'll be kind of goodish, because then they will get rid of what I think has always been the reason why we haven't won a championship yet. It's Mike D'Antoni. If the Rockets don't win the championship or don't make it to the playoff or whatever, don't make it to the finals, I mean, at the very least, make it a challenge to Western Conference, because people are saying that the Utah Jazz, that the Clippers, etc. And I understand, and that's understandable. Those you could name any 4 teams: the Clippers, the Lakers, the Jazz. Portland had a good season. And the Warriors, you can never count out the Warriors. But in my mind, I'm thinking if the Rockets can't even make it to West Conference, even if they're not set to, that would give Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Houston Rockets, the green light to actually have a leg to stand on, to say, okay, we're ready to hit the center with you. Now let's get other play. Let's get other coach. And I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think the Rockets are going to win a championship or whatever, which in a way could be kind of good. Because if the Rockets do win a championship, it's going to be a fluke. It could be flukish a little bit. I think that the way Mike D'Antoni has the system run, where it's dribble, and then pass it out to somebody in the last second, that ain't going to work. And I'm pretty sure that he'll try an alternative to that. Me personally, I think that they should have hired some defensive coaches and maybe run the 7-second. I would prefer, especially with Russell Westbrook on the team now, that he goes back to his old 7 seconds or less type of offense, and just hire some defensive players. You will be able to move the ball a little bit more, or whatever. You will catch players off guard. I don't know why he went from slow pace, 23 seconds, 24 seconds. He's run for 7 seconds. I would hope that Mike D'Antoni implement his old 7 seconds or less offense that he had in Phoenix. But if they don't, if the Rockets make it to the playoff and they get bounced in the first or second round, that would give Tillman Fertitta the light to kick him out. And that's my take. Those were my 5 positive and negative. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Was this a win for the Rockets? I understand the whole dribbling, both players have to have the ball in their hand, but they said the same thing about Chris Paul. So I still think that the Rockets will definitely be one of the top, maybe the top 5, maybe the 5th seed, hopefully the 4th or 3rd seed. And who knows? Maybe crazy things will happen. Maybe the Rockets could find themselves. It's not odd to loom if the Rockets, who have always been challenging the Warriors, could get the #1 seed. So leave your comment down below. Tell me what you think. Was this a win for the Rockets? What's your prediction? Was this a win for the Thunders? What do you think the Rockets going to look like 2024? What do you think the Rockets going to look like in 2026 when those draft comes in? Thank you. I'll see you next time.